Hi there, this is Thomas Ellenberg talking to you from beautiful Honolulu, Hawaii, and the first of a series of what I'm going to be referring to as God Talks. I taught school for many, many years and was so frustrated that with all of the subjects that we were supposed to teach in education, that the most important subject of all, which was our source, the source of this vast holographic computer game, was not permitted to be discussed or even researched or let me change my glasses here, those are the reflecting ones, or looked at from a free speech vantage point. It's amazing. When you think about it, I actually had a Peruvian student, a sixth grade boy, who was brilliant and an ancestor of the ancient Incas, who, when I asked him what he thought was going on and what was the secret of life, understanding life, which I often did with my students, he said, well, I think that this creation is a computer generated hologram that is coming out of God's mind. And I said, yes, I agree with you. If we're going to assume that there is a creator of this 3D hologram with the four elements, which I find to be extremely important in my reawakening to God as an actual presence, if we're going to really get into God, we have to stop, first of all, being afraid to talk about God. Like, we live in this civilization that has made gold its God. They added one letter, G-O-L-D. They added a letter to God, L, which, of course, if you stretch it out, becomes hell. And they've said there's nothing more important to think about, to focus on, to discuss, to research, to dedicate your entire life to, than the acquisition of gold. And yet, when God invaded the planet in his focused individualizations like Krishna, Moses, David, Buddha, and ultimately Jesus Christ, when God invaded, came in to his own computer holographic imagery to awaken us, those of us who are in here, we're like, sometimes I think we're like Mickey Mouse, and this is like Disneyland, and we're trying to contact Walt Disney. We're trying to find out, yeah, there has to be a Walt Disney. If there's a Mickey Mouse, if there's a me, there has to be a cause of me. I'm an effect. There has to be a cause. So we have to stop being afraid of bringing up the idea that even though the word God has been so tainted and so misused by the religions, that really needs to be, if we're going to be happy and if we're going to be functional as who we really are, which is divine creations of this divine creator, if we're going to be who we really are supposed to be, which is Buddhas and Christs, what I call cosmic superselves, divine superselves, individualizations of God himself, if we're really going to live our lives like that, then we have to stop being afraid and even embarrassed to talk about God. I certainly am not afraid to talk about God. I found out in my teaching that I couldn't, in the public school system, use the word God, so I changed it to the cosmic super selfhood of the universe. The minute I changed the language to cosmic super self of the universe, I found that all of my students, the parents of my students, the administrators, the people around me began to say, yeah, that's really cool. That makes total sense. How can you have a universe with so much goodness, truth, and beauty if you don't have a creator, if you don't have a cause? And why not we're in a new generation. We're in the third millennium, as this calendar specifies. In fact, the more I study the life of Jesus, the individualization of God, and his invasion of the planet 2,000 years ago, I mean, just think of the impact. He actually split time in two. His incarnation onto this planet from the fifth, sixth, and seventh dimensions, the heavenly dimensions, into this third dimension, his insertion, his invasion into this planet actually split time into BC and AD. I mean, that's major. And here we are in the third millennium, and this same energy, this same God energy that invaded the planet with his emanation, his individualized focus, called Jesus, 2,000 years ago, is now trying to zap us and trying to push into and through our brains that are so hypnotized by the brainwashing and the programming of the systems that are in control of the planet. We really do need to wake up. We simply need to question every belief system that we've ever been taught, whether it's an economic belief system, a religious belief system, a belief system about physicality, what this is supposedly means. We need to question every thought system, every conclusion, and as my extraterrestrial friend Bashar taught me, we need to question every definition and every adjective that has been laid upon us to define us in any limited sense less than the individualization and the transparency for God that we truly are. And so I think that's enough for our first God talk. To me, it's very important to make God the maypole around which everything else revolves, because the depth, the inner core of me and the inner core of you is that God essence. And so if we don't know who our essence is, we're not going to be able to express it. If we don't know who's at the core of us, of our I am, we're not going to be able to allow it to create through us. And that, of course, is the purpose for this beautiful computerized holographic 3D imagery we call space-time, planet Earth, for us to do what our Creator intended for us to do, which is to be the paintbrushes, to be the scribes, to be the expressors, to be the lovers. I really like that one, because one thing I agree with most major religions when they say that God is love. Of course, they twist it all around to make it into fulfill their agendas for control over. But if you really do begin to sense that the love in you and the love in me, the love in creation, and I see it here in Hawaii so powerfully, the love in creation, if you really begin to get that love is God's love, and that they're connected, just like the finger is connected to the hand, and the hand is connected to the arm, and the arm is connected to the body, and the body's connected to the head. God is actually the head, and we're the arms. Well, I think that's enough for right now, so I'm going to extend my warmest aloha to you all, and hope that you'll tune back in for another God Talk with Thomas Allenberg here in wonderful Waikiki, Honolulu, Hawaii in February 2008. God bless you all, and here's your lay for this evening. Aloha!